Good afternoon, class. Welcome back to Skepticism 101. In our last class session on Skepticism 101, we defined skepticism as doubt and discussed the reason for why we should be doubtful in our everyday lives. Today, I will cover the when and where of skepticism, the appropriate time and place to be skeptical. You might already know intuitively that you can't simply just express skepticism at literally any time of your convenience. For example, if I were speaking to you all directly inside a classroom, you can't just interrupt me for the sake of expressing your skepticism. No, you have to raise your hand and wait for me to call on you. Only then can you express your skepticism towards my views. So what are the right time and place to be skeptical? Well, the organisms who need skepticism are fellow human beings. So the appropriate time and place for skepticism depends on the needs of the humans who share the same society as us. Our expressions of skepticism are completely dependent on interpersonal relationships. As an autistic, I tend to have difficulty with understanding social cues, but from what I've learned from the non-autistic people in my life, I can analyze the specific interpersonal relationships in which you are justified in expressing your skepticism. For example, if you have read statistics that proclaim that 90% of a certain population believes in pseudoscience X, you can't just walk up to a stranger in that population for the sake of debunking a pseudoscientific belief that he may or may not hold. You have no right to infringe upon the beliefs of those who are not hurting you physically or emotionally. When you do so, you become guilty of emotionally hurting the strangers. The correct approach to interacting with an individual from a predominantly pseudoscientific population is to treat him as an individual by giving the benefit of the doubt. Only if he expresses that pseudoscientific belief should you try to debunk, because then he is the one who started the conversation, not you. You are well within your ethical rights to respond skeptically to someone who, out of the blue, presents you with a pseudoscientific claim. As for your friends and family, if you strongly fear that they hold pseudoscientific beliefs, then ask them if they do so. If they do, then as I said before in previous lectures, you should correct their beliefs so that all parties involved can come closer to the truth. I also said in previous lectures that you might have friends who would so easily break off their friendship with you for disagreeing with them. So in this circumstance, the choice is yours. Will you disagree with your oversensitive friends for the sake of defending the truth? Or will you keep your mouth shut for the sake of maintaining your friendships? There is no right or wrong answer to this question, because the right answer to any question can only come from the application of skepticism, not the debate of whether or not to perform that application in the first place. Before I conclude today's lecture on Skepticism 101, let me inform you that starting next week, which will begin with the Sunday of day after tomorrow, I will post lectures on Tuesdays and Thursdays, not Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I just realized today that even though I do have time between two lecture days to conduct the pre-production, production, and post-production processes, I actually do not have enough time to conduct historical research for the sake of teaching my history course. As I will go over in today's lecture on History 01, there is a historical method that you can use instead of memorizing historical facts, and that would be my way of figuring out which historical facts I should teach in my class session. My challenge as your history teacher is to learn a myriad of historical details and condense them into a 5 to 10 minute lecture. For that, I will need more time than the MWF schedule can afford me. The TR schedule, on the other hand, provides me with 4 non-lecture days to not only prepare my lectures, but also to conduct the historical research necessary for presenting the day's history lesson. Remember, in a few minutes after I post this video, you will see another video which covers the historical method that you will need to use in order to learn about the civilizations of the past. I'll see you all soon in History 01.